Picture your last trip to the grocery store. You grab the leanest cut you can find. Chicken breast, turkey, maybe a protein bar on the way out. Your brain tells you a simple equation. Lean equals healthy. Less fat, more protein, better body. That's the rule you've been taught your whole life. But there is one meat that breaks that rule completely. Mathematically speaking, it is the most perfect protein-making machine on the planet. It's the leanest meat on Earth. It grows faster than almost any other livestock. It needs less land, less water, and less feed than cows, pigs, or chickens. By all rights, rabbit should be the meat that rules the world. And for centuries, people refused to eat it. Some cultures banned it outright. Some explorers who ate nothing else died. Not from poison, not from disease, from the meat itself. Most people assume rabbit disappeared from our menus because the animal is simply too cute to kill. That's not it. The story of why you can't find rabbit in a modern supermarket is actually a two-part mystery. The first part is a biological rule hiding inside your own metabolism right now. A rule that could kill you even while your stomach is completely full. The second part is a single line item, buried in US law for almost 70 years. And neither of them is what you'd guess. Let's start with the animal itself. Rabbits are a farmer's dream. A single doe can produce dozens of offspring a year. She needs no pasture, no pond, no barn. A hutch the size of a nightstand is enough. And they convert feed into meat at a staggering pace. Where a cow needs years to reach slaughter weight, a rabbit needs a matter of months. But the exact traits that make rabbit meat efficient are the traits that make it dangerous. Rabbit meat is almost pure protein. Its fat content is shockingly low, often under 5%. Compare that to beef or pork, where fat can make up a third of the meat or more. So, what's actually wrong with eating something that lean? Your body was never built to run on protein alone. Your body burns three kinds of fuel: fat, carbohydrates, and protein. Fat and carbs burn clean. Protein does not. When your body breaks down protein for energy, it produces a toxic byproduct called ammonia. Your liver has to convert that ammonia into urea, so your kidneys can flush it out. But that conversion process has a hard ceiling. Your liver can only process so much nitrogen per hour, no matter how hungry you are. Eat lean protein past that ceiling, and the excess doesn't turn into energy. It turns into poison, circulating in your blood. Scientists gave it a name: rabbit starvation. And it has killed real people in recorded history. Imagine you're an Arctic explorer in the 1800s. You're stranded somewhere, without cows, without wheat, without vegetables. But rabbits are everywhere. You eat rabbit meat morning, noon, and night. Within days, something is wrong. Diarrhea that won't stop. Headaches. A strange gnawing hunger that never goes away, no matter how much you eat. You can eat pound after pound of lean rabbit, and your cells will literally starve to death while your stomach bursts. This is why extreme high-protein diets can backfire today, and why protein poisoning still shows up in modern medical literature. Your liver's ceiling hasn't changed since the Ice Age. So, mystery solved, right? Rabbit is dangerous. It kills you if you eat it alone. And that historic trauma is why we don't sell it at Walmart. Except, that's not true. Because today, you're not an Arctic explorer. You have butter. You have potatoes. You have olive oil. If you roast a rabbit with root vegetables and a heavy cream sauce, the biological danger drops to absolute zero. Rabbit starvation explains why early trappers avoided it. It does not explain why a perfectly safe, highly efficient, modern agricultural product vanished from the Western world. To understand that, we have to look at what happened the moment the world actually needed food fast. Start with the year 1943. The United States is deep in a war. Beef is rationed. Meat of any kind is hard to come by. So the government does something that sounds strange today. It tells Americans to raise rabbits in their backyards and eat them. They call it victory rabbits, right alongside victory gardens. Whole neighborhoods keep hutches. Newspapers print rabbit recipes on the same page as war bulletins. And here's the detail that matters. By 1943, Peter Rabbit had already been a best-selling, adorable children's character for 41 years. Cuteness was already fully baked into the culture. It did not stop a single household from putting rabbit on the dinner table when there was a reason to. It wasn't rare. It wasn't shameful. It was just what people did when protein was scarce and they had a yard. And rabbits were perfect for this because of a specific biological trick. Feed a rabbit the same grain-based diet you'd feed a chicken, and on a feed conversion chart, the chicken wins. But most commercial chicken feed is grain, corn, soy, the same crops that go directly into human food. A rabbit doesn't need that. Rabbits can live on grass, hay, and vegetable scraps a human being cannot digest at all. They re-eat a certain kind of their own droppings overnight, running fiber through the gut a second time to pull out nutrients most animals would just lose. It's not glamorous, but it is the ultimate survival mechanism. A chicken's gut is built for speed on rich grain. A rabbit's gut is built to squeeze value out of almost nothing. The honest headline is that rabbit converts food nothing else wants into meat nobody's selling. So if it's biologically safe when cooked with fat, not restricted by cuteness, and incredibly cheap to feed, why did the industry collapse? What happened first was a contest. Between 1946 and 1948, a supermarket chain called A&P teamed up with the USDA to run a nationwide breeding competition. State contests first, then regional, then a national final, staged like a championship. They called it Chicken of Tomorrow. The prize went to a breeder for a cross between a Cornish rooster and a New Hampshire red hen. Judges scored the birds on meat yield, growth speed, and uniformity. That bloodline, more or less, is the chicken sitting in your refrigerator right now. Chicken got an industrial rocket strapped to its back. There was never a rabbit of tomorrow. No supermarket chain had a reason to fund one. Once chicken got that cheap, that fast, there wasn't much economic pressure left pulling anyone back toward rabbit. Consumption slid, year after year. But even then, markets naturally diversify. Duck, turkey, and lamb all survived the chicken boom. If rabbit was so cheap to raise, why didn't a few smart entrepreneurs just scale it up and undercut the market? The final nail in the coffin isn't in a taste test, it's in a filing cabinet. 1906. Congress passes the Federal Meat Inspection Act. It puts a government inspector on the floor of every plant that slaughters cattle and pigs. For free, paid for by taxpayers, mandatory, no exceptions. 50 years later, Congress does the same thing for chicken. The Poultry Products Inspection Act, same deal. Mandatory, government paid. The USDA stamp that lets a product sit on any shelf in the country. Rabbit is in neither law, not banned. Not restricted, just never written in. Legally, in the United States, rabbit sits in the same category as buffalo, elk, and reindeer. Animals nobody expected to become a mass commodity, so nobody bothered to include them. Here's what that means if you want to sell rabbit meat commercially today. Inspection is voluntary, which sounds like less paperwork until you read the fine print. Most supermarkets and restaurants require a USDA inspection stamp to avoid liability. And unlike a chicken plant, rabbit processors don't get that inspector for free. You pay for it. A full-time federal inspector, on your payroll, every single day you're processing, charged by the hour. That single line item is why a country of over 300 million people has only a small handful of USDA-inspected rabbit plants at real commercial scale. There are an estimated 200,000 rabbit producers across the country, almost all of them small, almost none of them able to clear that financial bar. Not because nobody wants to invest, because the cost of entry is still shaped like it's 1906. For cattle and chicken, taxpayers solved this problem decades ago. For rabbit, every producer pays it fresh, out of pocket, before selling a single package. Scaling up costs more for rabbit than for any meat that made it onto those two lists. That cost exists whether demand is high or low. It sits there, quietly, before a single rabbit is even born. So go back to the cute explanation, because it's time to put it to rest. If cuteness or empathy were really the deciding factor, pigs should be the hardest meat to sell on Earth. Pigs are intelligent, highly social, even described by researchers as playful. Yet people eat about 9 billion of them a year. Whether an animal gets sorted into food or into pet isn't fixed by biology. It's closer to a habit, something a society settles into and then stops questioning. Rabbit wasn't sorted into pet because of some permanent truth about rabbits. During a war, when there was a reason to, an entire country sorted it into food instead, without much resistance. The sorting changed because the economics changed, not the other way around. So here is the actual shape of the story. Rabbit isn't off the American plate because an entire culture decided it was too precious to eat, and it isn't off the plate because of a deadly metabolic trap that killed Arctic explorers, though that makes for a great warning against extreme diets. It's off the plate because two laws, in 1906 and 1957, quietly drew a line around which animals get cheap, taxpayer-funded inspection, and rabbit landed on the wrong side of it. Chicken got a 40-year head start rabbit never got. And once chicken was cheap enough, there was no economic force left pulling anyone back. So the only story left standing was the emotional one, the one about a pet. That story isn't malicious. It's just what's left over once the real explanation stops being visible. Nobody sat down and decided rabbit should disappear. A regulatory cost nobody noticed just kept compounding, year after year, until disappearing was the only outcome left. It's a genuinely comfortable story to tell because it doesn't ask anyone to think about a lobbying gap or a 70-year-old filing cabinet. It only asks you to feel something you already feel. The real question was never why we stopped eating rabbit. The real question is how many other "we just don't do that here" stories are actually a cost structure nobody ever bothered to rewrite. Somewhere, right now, a similar filing cabinet is quietly deciding tomorrow's menu too. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now.